Athletes, welcome back. It's dealer's choice today, and the choice is rummy. We got Philip, we got Coffee Chris with you, and we've got 4 rounds, 4 minutes at a time, and you are gonna be working through this, trying to get consistent, showing me the same time every time. So get set, get ready. We've got burpees, we got up downs, we got broad jumps, we got everything. Get ready, get set. The warm-up is now. Athletes, your warm-up's here. We've got 10 seconds on the clock. We are gonna go ahead and get some space because we're starting out with heel toe rocks. So all you need is open floor in 3, 2, 1, and go. We're warming up that lower body, getting ready for our step jacks and our running or our walking or whatever variation that we are gonna do for today. So we're just making sure we're getting full extension on those toes, and then we're pulling those toes up nice and high when we rock back to our heels. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna transition to our step jacks or to where we're doing our walk or our run. So Chris is gonna start out with a walk for this first round of the warm-up, just to make sure everything's moving well, to slightly elevate that heart rate, get our body warmed up just a little bit. And I always use this time to talk about our pacing. So we've got 200 meters and 100 meters that we're doing for our walk or our run. If you guys are running this distance, or even if you're walking this distance, a 200-meter run based off an 8-minute pace is gonna take 1 minute. So that means that right now during the warm-up, if you guys wanna run out for 30 seconds and then come back, that will be your 200. For your 100-meter, you're gonna go half that distance or 15 seconds out and then come back. So if you wanna go ahead and mark those distances now, you can. If you're using a machine, like a bike or a rower, and you're subbing that in, it's gonna be a 1 minute for your 200-meter, or it's gonna be 30 seconds for your 100-meter. I'm gonna have both athletes go ahead and make their way to their box, and we're gonna go into step up and over. So with this, what we're gonna do is that we've got an implement that can obviously support our body weight. We are gonna step up, and when we are doing a jump over or a step over, we do not have to show full extension on top of the box. I need both feet on top of the box, so you can't just put one foot on the box and then swing the other one around. But figure out your transition here, because if you watch Chris, he's turning while he's on the box, which is gonna make it a little bit more efficient than stepping all the way over and then turning around on the other side. Philip's got that form down as well, both seasoned athletes. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into elevated up downs for Philip, and we're gonna go into up downs with a broad jump for Chris. So with our elevated up downs, this is gonna be hopping our feet out and then hopping them back in. For Chris, we have an up down, which is the burpee without the push up, which is arguably more hard than a burpee, but it's a good warm up piece. And then we're going into our broad jump. Our broad jump distance is gonna be 3 feet. And you see Chris doing a good job of giving us nice solid broad jump, and he's turning at the same time. Now I'm gonna ask him to make it less fancy, so we're gonna go into an up down and just give me a straight up broad jump across the line, and then we turn. So you pick the variation here. We got 3 feet of distance. You can't touch that line with your hands or your feet. And the thing I will tell you is the standard I'm gonna apply here is there's no 2-foot takeoff or 2-foot landing rule. So if you wanna do a broad jump like this, actually we'll do one like this. So give us the fancy one, Chris, where you skip over that line. I will allow that for today. So until we see an official standard that's gonna say otherwise, that's what we're going with. So you can pick your variation. Let's make our way back to our heel toe rocks. And I'm gonna make this second round a little bit faster here. So we're continuing to get that lower body warmed up. And in 3, 2, 1, we're going back to our step jacks. And now Chris is gonna go ahead and pick it up to a run or a jog, just to make sure, again, everything's feeling good, because we wanna get that workout pace in before we get started. I'm gonna have Philip give me that step jack pace that I know he's got in the tank. And that is it right there. Let's go ahead and relax. We're going back into our step up and over. For Chris, I'm gonna have him go into a box jump over. So with this, we're gonna jump up and then step down. Chris does more of an advanced technique here. So if you watch when he jumps, his outer foot lands near the edge of the box, but is still on. This allows him to just slide that foot off and avoid an extra jump, making the movement more efficient. Next thing that we're gonna do is we're going into our elevated up downs, and now Chris has burpee broad jumps. So we're gonna do just a couple reps here, because I do wanna save the majority of these reps when we get into the workout. And Chris has that nice little skip over the line, which we're gonna count as our broad jump because he's clearing that distance of the 3 feet. And relax. That is it. I know that felt like the workout, but it was only the warm-up. The warm-up is done, so I need you to take care of whatever you need to. Grab your water, grab your coffee. We got Coffee Chris, Buffalo Brew Coffee. If you haven't, check it out online. Get yourself ready because your workout is coming up next, and this is going to be the best workout you have ever given me. So get ready, get set, here we go. Athletes, your workout's here. We've got 10 seconds on the clock. We've got 4 rounds or 4 sets. Every 4 minutes we're doing a set. So make your way to where you are doing your step jacks or you're running. So Chris is getting back to that runner. He's giving Philip a little bit of a head start on this one. So we're gonna have 4 separate scores on our workout today. You've got 1 set every 4 minutes for 4 sets. So we're gonna go through this entire list of exercises that we have. Once we get done, we have earned our rest time. Now, workouts like today are very strategic because you wanna go fast because you earn more rest time, but you don't wanna go so fast that you can't recover during that time or so fast that you can't replicate that time on sets 2, 3, and 4. So what I would love to see as your coach is I wanna see you stay consistent all the way through. So if you're hitting a 2 or 3 minute time on this workout, I wanna see your 2 or 3 minute time every single time you go through it. Now, I would be impressed by athletes as well that are getting faster each round because it tells me you overpaced the first round a little bit. You were a little conservative and you wanted to make sure that you didn't spend all your money on that first round and you're saving it so that you can share it out over the next couple sets. Now the thing, I'm not gonna be mad, I'm not even gonna be disappointed. It's just a learning lesson in fitness if we get slower each set. So if we're getting slower each set and we find we went way too fast in our first set, what we can do is use that first set as practice. We're not even gonna pay attention to it. And set number 2 would be where we're establishing that time that we're trying to replicate for the remainder of sets 3 and 4. We've got Chris doing his box jump overs here, making that nice easy transition of sliding the foot down. And then we've got Chris moving to his 100-meter run. Philip is back on his step jacks. Now with Philip's version of this, he's got 30 step jacks at the beginning and then 15 step jacks on his second step jacks within that set. After that, he's gonna go to his 5 elevated up downs with his 1, 2 march, and then he goes right back into that elevated up down. Now, if hopping back is too difficult for you and you wanna step back, that is completely allowed. The thing I'll challenge you with is that if we're doing a step back, I want you to try to alternate which leg you are stepping back with, just to keep ourselves balanced. We've got Chris moving into his 5 burpee broad jumps, and this is Chris's money. Like, this is what he loves to do. When he's sleeping, he's doing burpee broad jumps in his dreams. He makes it look very easy, and again, he's making the transition that does not have a 2-foot takeoff, which we're allowing, because burpee broad jumps, as far as I remember, have never been in the open, so we don't have an official standard on that. But we have had in the past couple years a standard for jumping over a bar, which does not require a 2-foot takeoff. So we're gonna apply the same standard here. If that ever changes, we'll make sure that we give you a new set of standards in upcoming workouts. But that is it for the first set. That's all we got. So you guys get to rest during this time. And as always, we wanna make sure that we are moving around, that we're getting those body parts continuing to move, clearing the fatigue out of our legs, out of our low back, out of our upper body. Whatever blew up on you slightly or is starting to talk to you just a little bit, pay particular focus to it because it's gonna get a little bit harder, a little bit tougher with these upcoming sets. Now we got 45 seconds of rest. Both athletes finished within around the 2, what time was yours, Philip? 2, right around 2. And then Chris, what was yours? Chris does not know. And that's on being an honest athlete. So you don't make up a time, if you don't know, we'll pay attention to the next one. But we're gonna look at consistency across these sets. So whatever you scored in your first set, then that's what we wanna aim for in sets 2, 3, and 4. If you don't know what your time is on the first one, we're gonna use set number 2 as the metric that we're gonna compare all of our rounds to or all of our sets to after this. We got 10 seconds and we're going back into our run. We're going back into our step jacks in 5, and 3, 2, 1, go. Now we've got Philip on his step jacks. When we are taking our step jacks, Philip does a great job of shifting all of his body weight between his 2 legs. It is not just a step out. We gotta move our entire body. Kevin, you know I've always gotta mention you if we got step jacks coming your way. Kevin's got that Zumba flow of going out and then I can't do it. My brain will short circuit if I try to do it the way that Kevin does. But we got Chris on his run for 200 meters. Again, if you didn't remember, we got a minute that we're doing for our 200-meter run, and we have 30 seconds for our 100-meter run. So if you're on a machine and you're doing based off those times, that's what we are looking at, is a minute for our first cardio piece and then 30 seconds for our second cardio piece. Philip is finished with his step jacks and he's going into his box step overs. Again, just like Chris, Philip is doing a great job of making the transition on top of the box and giving us that turn so he's set up to go right into his next movement. Now, if box step-ups are something that are difficult for you to do and you want to set this up to where you have something that you can hold for assistance for balance purposes, you're more than welcome to. So make sure that you are doing this in the safest way possible, but we're also trying to add the intensity that we can maintain personally through this movement across each of our sets. We got Chris on his box jump overs and off his box jump overs. Both athletes are back onto their step jacks and their run here, staying relaxed, making sure that we're trying to match that time from our first set that we don't know what it was, but we're establishing it in set number 2 on this one. And most importantly, you know I'm gonna say it, I know it gets annoying, but arguably the most important thing you could possibly do is believe in yourself, and the second thing is to breathe. So I need you believing in yourself. If you're not believing in yourself, I believe in you, and I need you believing in yourself more than I'm believing in yourself, and I believe in you a lot. So I need you to give me everything you got. We got Philip onto his elevated up downs with our 1-2, stepping marches, and then we got Chris turning on the heat for his burpee broad jumps. I think he's got Philip's name and he is coming for him. So both athletes got their time there. So we hit right around the 2:14, 2:16 mark for our athletes. So now we got a metric that we can shoot for. So if we think that we can go faster than that, we got 2 more sets to prove that. But what I don't want you doing is going faster in set number 3 and then going slower in set number 4. If you're giving yourself the chance to speed up or get a little faster, I want to see every round or set getting faster. If you feel like you just can maintain because you really push yourself there, that is perfect, and that's where I want you at. So let's try to match that time every time. We got Chris stretching out. We got Philip thinking about how he's gonna go faster than Chris on our upcoming set. It looks like he's just smiling at the camera and like giving you good vibes, but he's thinking of destroying Chris down to like his very base and making him want to come back and do filming with us again so that he can avenge himself. But enough seriousness, we got 40 seconds until we get into set number 3. Now again, what I want you guys to do is identify where your sticking points are on this workout. So if there's a particular movement that you know that is harder for you than others, that's where I want you focusing on. I want you to see if you can get a little bit more efficient with that movement, get a little bit faster with that movement. But we got 20 seconds, so we can start making our way back to where we're doing our step jacks and back to where we're doing our run. Because the great news is we are halfway through this workout. 2 sets down and 2 sets to go. We're going in 10 seconds. You've got 5 and 3, 2, 1, go. Now, we've already sparked the competitive edge between Philip and Chris. I can already hear this runner starting to go faster. I know that Philip is starting to heat up on his step jacks, NBA Jam rules, so we're gonna see what happens on this one. We've got both athletes doing their cardio piece of our step jacks and our running, and then we are moving into our box jump overs or our box step overs. Again, if we start to add intensity here, I'm happy with that, but it doesn't mean that we can get sloppy on our movements. So I still need the same points of performance, the same standards. Make sure you keep it a clean fight. So if you're working out with somebody in your garage, no pushing, no biting, no punching. It's not a win if you fight dirty, all right? I need you to be a nice upstanding athlete. And we got Philip going into his step overs. And we got Chris doing what he was born to do, his box jump overs. Again, this is his favorite thing. He does these for breakfast every single day. And he is on a mission now. Philip, I don't know. Chris is pushing the pace here, so we're gonna see. We got our athletes finishing here, and then they're going to their shorter version of their cardio piece of their step jacks and their run. And we got Chris on his run. Philip, you're gonna have to fly on those step jacks. We gotta make a quick transition because he is coming for you. And those burpees are gonna go fast when he gets to that broad jump. Oh, Philip, I know you got more than that. You gotta give it to me. Right now, I think that Philip is giving Chris a false sense of security. I can see it. I don't even have to look at his face. I know he's smiling about it right now. And I'm gonna get the famous Philip laugh, which is, I know what's coming. Here we go. Oh, we got both athletes to our burpee or our up-down variation. And we are gonna see what happens. We are currently rep for rep. And I think that Philip may pull it out. And there we are. Now, I would like to point out that with all the tenseness that was going on, Philip was victorious on this third set. Chris is not gonna let this stand. This is like an old samurai movie. He's gonna avenge his honor. But both athletes did get substantially faster on these rounds too. So we had Philip finish around 201, 202. We had Chris finish around 203. So now we've got a new metric for our athletes to try to beat. So if you're competing with somebody else, that is okay. I encourage that as long as you still maintain what you are doing for yourself. If you get to the point where you're so caught up with trying to beat somebody else, you're cutting reps, cutting form, or you're just not doing the workout as prescribed, that's no good. All I'm looking at doing is getting you a little bit fitter, not than the person that walked in the gym with you is, but I want to get you a little bit fitter than you were when you walked in that gym, and that's what our goal is for every day. So both of our athletes are on their final rest time in this workout. We have 50 seconds, 5-0, until we start set number 4. And Chris, that mustache is twitching. I feel like he's got something up his sleeve. He is ready right now. We got Philip calm, cool, and collected. The headband is locked and loaded. He is ready to go. We're gonna have to do fight night promotion posters for this. So this, yeah, keep it clean always. So athletes, you got 25 seconds. Grab some water real quick if you need it. Get yourself ready because now is our final set. We got a nice friendly fist bump before mayhem and destruction happens on this last set. We've got 13 and 10 seconds. Make your way to your starting place, whether it's your run, your machine, or your step jacks. And we are going in 3, 2, 1, go. Now, here we go, and Philip is starting out with those step jack pacings that I knew that he had. He was saving it for the last set here. Sneaky, sneaky Philip. But we got both athletes finishing up this last set. So we got 30 step jacks for Philip. We got a 200-meter run for Chris, and Chris is a runner. Chris is, I know that I've talked about the burpees, the burpee box jump overs, the burpee broad jumps being the thing he loves, but Chris was born to run. This man is a real-life Forrest Gump. He just feels like running. So we got Chris finishing up his 200-meter run. We got Philip finishing up his step jacks, and then we are moving on to the box for both athletes, and I'm excited to see where we go from here. We got Philip moving to his box. We got Chris moving to his box. Athletes, if you're keeping pace with our athletes here, I encourage you to try to go a little faster. Let's see if you can beat the time of our athletes here or to stay in pace with them. If you're going a little bit slower, that is okay as well, because it's just important that we are trying to be better than we were in set number 3. So you're in competition with yourself. And if we get a little bit slower, Chris, was that all 10 reps? All right, we're gonna have to go back to the tape. I counted 8, I think. I don't know. We'll roll that beautiful bean footage and we'll see what we had there. So we got Philip onto his step jack. We got Chris onto his run. I'm just saying, man, those were fast. I'm not doubting your counting. We got Philip on his step jacks and moving to his up downs. Chris is gonna have to fly on this. He just put the air brakes on that runner and we are going. And Chris, I know you can go faster than that. You gotta move and this is it. And Philip, you gotta go. We need everything that you have here, and that is it. Chris finished, but we are gonna rewind that footage and go back. I don't think you did all 10 either, but hey, the effort was there, and the honesty does count, but I still think that Philip was the champion. So a nice fist bump there. Athletes, great job. Chris, awesome job. Philip, awesome job. And miscounts always happen. It's how you handle yourself afterwards, which Chris is a fantastic competitor, which we saw. Athletes, great job. You're still working. Finish up for us. If you were done, take a nice deep recovery breath because you did a lot of work today and you showed out. We got your cool down coming up next, so stick around. Athletes, this is normally my closeout, but I do have a special message. I do owe an apology to Chris because between both of our athletes, Chris did win the last round. We went back, we counted the footage, and this man was fast. He was so fast, he makes fast people look not so fast. So great job on the 10 reps, but we wanna make sure anybody that was counting the reps at home, Chris did complete all of his reps, and that just goes to show Chris even surprised himself how fast he went. So now back to my regular. You guys did awesome. Thank you so much for the effort that you showed us today. We did a great job. We had fun here. Philip crushed it. He got 3 out of those 4 sets, and then Chris came back and hit that last set. So wonderful, wonderful job. Now, if you enjoyed yourself today and this was your first time with us, I've got a special offer for you. For a limited time only, you can use the code ATHOME to get a free month of programming to do workouts just like this or workouts unlike this. Whether you're looking at doing some workouts at home, on the road, wherever you could be, we got functional fitness, we got bodybuilding, we got CrossFit, we got isolation work, we got anything that you could possibly want to get yourself better and fitter. Whether you're looking to tackle the things that life throws your way with a little bit more confidence and make it a little easier, or make it all the way to the competition floor, Mayhem Athlete has your back. So join us today. Now, we got your cool down here, and you know I always get serious because your body just took care of you. So you got to take care of your body. Stick around, do this cool down. It will serve you well. As always, be good, be kind, and join us again for another great day of fitness.